It's also so individual, and
Very.
that adds to the struggle because in the early days, all I wanted to do was talk about it. Do you remember? This was all happening to us, and I was reading everything and talking to the doctors and asking people, and John would come home from work and I'd say, "Oh, guess what I found out today?" And he'd say, "I don't want to talk about it." And I remember thinking, how can you not want to talk about it? You know, and it took, when he talks about our blowouts, John was, early on especially, his response to, we had a lot of crisis going on with Jake. We were in an ambulance every 3 weeks. His response was, I've got to go to work. I have got to go to work. I've got to support this family. I can't lose my health insurance. Plus, I don't really want to be there because it's rough. And we had a 3-year-old and Jake was a baby. And I was really in the trenches, and my way of dealing was, I have to fix this. I have to find out what's wrong and fix it. And I couldn't understand why he just kept burying himself somewhere else. And it was a big disconnect, I think, for a while. And John, if I can speak for you, is also the type who doesn't like to share his feelings. And so we would kind of bumble along, and then something random would happen. We would be running late and aggravated, and we'd be in the car. And he would just turn around, and something would come out of his mouth so profound, really about Jake, but it was always in the heat of a moment where I think he would just sort of snap and it would all come tumbling out. And as bad as those moments were, I think they were also really therapeutic for us, because I would finally get a sense into what he was feeling, whether it would be him saying, "Oh my God, we are so damn trapped," or "I'm so miserable." And it would always shock me to hear it, but then it always sort of led to us being able to talk it out, and it helped. Even then, it didn't come out in a very organized, traditional way. And therapy for us, ironically, has not been that useful. It's not something that John embraces, I guess. You know, to have a strange person come in and say to us, "And how are you two doing?" He doesn't want to tell her, or he just doesn't want to share. For me, it's been more helpful, but it's also just more about me and how I'm dealing with it, not as much about how we're dealing with it.